had to get that out. Hi. Welcome to 23. Because we skipped last week, I think. No, it's 24. It's 24. It was a 24 of the IPP podcast. The podcast you're not mad about for skipping last week.
Yeah. Because you love us.
Yay.
Or at least you should love us.
God, I hope so.
If you don't, well, that sucks. Why are you listening? The Pokemon.
That sucks. I'm still going to keep going.
Yeah, that sucks. We're still going to make these. This one's a beaver.
Bidoof? Is it Bidoof?
No.
It's not Bidoof?
It's another beaver.
Okay. Give me more, because I think the only one I'm more aware of is
It looks like a beaver. It has it kind of looks like Perry the platypus with his, like how big his tail is, but his tail's brown. Like actually almost like dark black.
Just sounds like Bidoof.
It's B-I. B-I are the first two letters.
Dude, this should be Bidoof.
It is not Bidoof.
Not Buizel. Not. What's the number? The dex number?
400.
No. Not that.
No.
I don't know.
I thought you were gonna get this.
Is it probably? I don't think Bidoof has an evolution, so I don't know.
You want me to show you?
Yeah. Oh, he does have an evolution.
Oh
It's Bibarel.
Bibarel.
Okay, you said fucking beaver. I'm like, oh, it's Bidoof. Because
I don't
Bidoof
really know how else to describe that though.
That's fair. No, that's fair.
That is quite literally a beaver.
I'll give you that.
It's just a little bit more cartoonish.
He's a little guy.
So, because we're posting this episode on the 24th, or not the 24th, what the
The 4th.
On the 4th.
Yeah.
God, so you got me thinking of number 24 now.
My bad. Bitch.
Bitch.
Like, it's my fault you don't be thinking real good.
I don't be thinking real good. I figured, I had a different idea, but then I sat down and I was like, wait, we're coming out with this episode on the 4th, so might as well make it the 4th related. So I compiled a little list of firework names. Mm-hmm. And you're going to decide on if they are real or if they're fake.
Okay. Are you saying that these are like brands or like these are names that the firework companies have given the fireworks? Is that what it is?
Firework companies have given the fireworks.
Okay. So it's like Squeaky Screamer and it's like that
yes.
But okay.
So the first one we have is...
That's a fart name, by the way.
Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz?
And Oz is AHHS.
Oh, of I get it. Haha, very funny. I'm gonna say that's real.
That is real. You can buy it for $119. It comes with 25 shots.
What is it? Is it like a rocket?
So it is a...
Are these all like the legal kind? Or
yeah, I think so.
Okay. You could buy it at those stands.
Product description: here are the oohs and ahs. Green light bouquet of red flying stars, red glitter, willows, bouquets. Green flying stars and crackle.
Uh-huh.
So that one's real.
Watching and hearing you read out loud is
That's why I hate these fucking games.
Fascinating.
Anyways,
fascinating.
Next one. You got the first one right. There's 10 of these. Next one, the Popo magnet.
The Popo magnet?
Yes.
More like the poo-poo magnet. I'm going to say that's fake.
That is real.
Yeah, it's bold, but I would... I get it. I get why. That's
you can buy it for $129.
Fireworks are so fucking expensive.
The Popo magnet comes with 36 shots, assorted strobing dahalas with red, white, blue, green, gold bombs with strobes and crackling red.
Why am I here, dude? This whole thing could just be you fucking trying to read. Okay, keep going. You got it, King.
Did you know that this was an aerial magnet, by the way?
What?
An aerial. Oh my god. All right, number 3, Grandma's Revenge.
No.
That's fake. Shoots pink glitter. By the way, the fake ones gave me descriptions as well.
I don't need them.
Okay.
I don't need them.
The 4th one, Nacho Inferno 3000.
No.
That is fake.
No.
What? How do you guess that one's fake?
3,000 at the end.
The 3,000?
Yeah.
There are a lot of fireworks with ridiculous numbers in them.
I just don't. No.
Cat scat fever.
Yes. Cat scat? Wait, no, that's fake.
That is real. You can buy it for $150. Multicolored pearls.
Cat poo? Yeah, I'm going to buy the fireworks. I say cat poo.
24 shots. Multicolored pearls break over bright minds with multi-layers of scattering chaos effects.
Oh, scat as in scatter and not poo poo.
Yeah.
I feel like that's bad marketing. I feel like
that's good marketing.
I feel like they could have done better with that one.
The 911 surprise.
Yes.
That one is fake.
Damn. Well, if you've got the fucking po-po magnet, you can't have the 911 surprise.
You can. I guess you can.
I feel like that.
Shimmer Me Timbers.
Shimmer Me Timbers? Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah, that's real.
You can buy that one for $90.
That's totally real.
Shimmer Me Timbers. Beautiful silver trails break with red willows followed by brilliant purple purple orange palms and the ultimate glitter crackling bouquet finale. A great display.
Yeah, that was a great display of reading. Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh my god. Never mind.
Nacho Libre, but louder.
No. That's f***ing stupid. That's stupid. No.
What?
No, that's fake.
That is so fake.
No.
God Bless America.
Yeah.
That is real. This one didn't really give me a description, but it gave me the effects.
Mm-hmm.
Red trail up to red wave, silver trail up to white glitter, blue. Just close your eyes and imagine these real quick.
Imagination.
Or if you're lighting a firework, just imagine these are the what you're seeing. Blue trail up to blue star, 3-stage whistle, and silver trail up to a Thai flower. Thai with T-I flower.
And then you put that all in a pot, and you have a potion.
And you got yourself, God Bless America.
Congratulations.
Cry baby comet.
No.
You are correct. That is fake.
I'm so good. See, I'm so good at these.
Maybe I should have made this list a little bit longer. That was really quick.
I'm so good at these. There
are really funny ones.
So good at these.
When I was looking them up, I was like, these are kind of funny.
These are kind of silly.
I'm gonna look them up real quick. Named fireworks, because they are quite funny.
Cat scat's pretty bad.
Cat scat's pretty bad.
That is right. Cat poo.
Neighbor hater. I like that one.
That's pretty good.
That's a good one. Badassical blast.
Let me see.
Badassical blast.
Yeah, but they spelled it like classical.
Yeah,
badass. That's bad.
That's confused
bad.
The fuck out of me.
That's really, really bad.
Cat scat fever. Shimmer Me Timbers. Hashtag light and run.
Boo. Boo.
Unicorn puke. That one's
also
a good
bad. I don't like that.
I like that one.
It's giving millennial. You know what I mean? Like
it's giving
choke.
Big American.
Okay.
Wicked piss.
Wicked piss. I take wicked pisses every day. Wicked pisser. Wicked pisser.
Wicked pisser.
I'm a wicked pisser.
That's a wicked pisser, and it's like a lobster on it. That makes no sense.
No, I don't get it either. I take wicked pisses like 12 times a day. I drink hella water.
I have no clue. Banging hard.
That's good. I like that one.
Banging hard since 1952.
Banging hard.
Banging hard. Bada bang, bada boom.
That's not bad. I don't hate that.
Bada bang, bada boom.
That's quite silly.
Put it in reverse.
Is that really one?
Yeah.
Put it in reverse,
Put it in reverse, Terry.
Put it in reverse, Terry.
That's fucking funny.
Excellent. Super.
Holy finale.
No.
That's trash.
Boo.
Laser kitties with a Z at the end. Look at the.
Again, that's also giving very millennial.
It's like rah, it's shooting lasers out of the eyes.
2014, like Nyan Cat kind of thing.
Here come the judge. That's lame.
What?
Oh, you're gonna like this one. Wacky Tobacco.
Oh, dude, Mike and I told him, my favorite term for like a drug is wacky tobacco because I heard it in LA Noire.
Wacky tobacco.
Like you pull in LA Noire, you play as like a cop and you pull over this like teenage kid, and it takes place in like what, the 50s, like early 60s or whatever, or like the 40s, and he goes, "Don't arrest me, man. I got that wacky tobacco in my trunk." Hey, that stuck with me ever since. And then, what was it? It was like some over-the-counter, like, sleeping pills or whatever. And it was called Hillbilly's Heroin.
Oh, yeah. Or, wasn't there a cheap one, too?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. It was like, it's some over-the-counter, like, sleeping pill or, like, painkiller or whatever. And apparently when you take a lot of it, it makes you feel real good. And it's the Hillbilly Heroin.
Hillbilly
I wanna look
Heroin.
at what it is. Hillbilly Heroin. That's crazy.
That's going to be on your...
On my what?
On your
Oh, I
thing
know.
forever.
But then I also... Oh, no, it's just Oxy, I guess. Oxy is just hillbilly heroin. Now you know that.
So, the first thing I was going to do was because we get a lot of bad reviews at work, just because people have bad days and they just decide to take it to Twitter or to Google, I mean.
Yeah.
I was going to do where I presented you with bad reviews and you determine on if it's real or fake.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I thought about this was because I want to say about a year or two ago, we got a bad review from someone.
Mm-hmm.
And we looked up the reviews, saw the bad review, clicked on his profile, and he had a page.
Mm-hmm.
Quite literally, there's only 2 other places he had reviewed other than what his page was. And the other places were like Starbucks and another food place.
Okay.
The rest of his page was reviewing neighborhoods/communities that had bumps. What are
like
the
speed bumps?
Speed bumps.
He's a speed bump reviewer?
He would go through communities and review their speed bumps.
That is so funny.
And we just were all so like
that is
astonished by it.
Awesome. That is awesome. 'Cause like, what makes a good speed bump?
Yeah.
Is it the faster you can go makes it a good speed bump, or the slower you have to go?
I have no clue, but like
is the good metric
that
for that.
that was his thing. So it got me going to one of the greatest places in the world, Reddit, for a thing called Google Reviews, where it's just people putting up funny reviews / good reviews and them talking about it. And I just, because of that, I was like, dude, that is so funny that there's people out there like that.
Yeah, I mean, there are like professional like Yelp reviewers
yeah.
like who just go review shit and then they get paid to do it. Speed bumps is one that I haven't seen before. Funny. Was he old? Was
Not
he like an
really.
older guy? He was like middle age.
Not really.
He was young.
He was like a younger guy.
If you had to guess, how old was he?
He's probably about a little bit older than me. So I was just like, dude, you go. One of the reviews on Google Reviews that I wanted to share with you was a 1-star review, but the person said 2 out of 10 would not recommend. The train exploded, and I left my left pinky toe, pasta. Pasta's in all caps.
That's a lot Is that like an acronym, like SHIELD? You know, is it like
So,
that?
He has a bowl of pasta that he took a picture of.
Oh,
It's just like...
is it good looking? Does it look good?
It looks like a...
It looks like the most plain pasta.
Looks like he made the pasta, put it in a bowl, and said,
Pasta.
2 out of 10, would not recommend. The train exploded. I lost my left pinky toe. Pasta.
No one is supposed to have this kind of, like, as a species, I don't think we were meant to have phones attached to us at all times.
No.
But the fact that we do is truly something for the books. Like, I don't know.
I think the airport toilet was bad. Also, the staff told me I was fat. This is a message for the owner. ...
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
That's it. I actually have one. At my very first job, we were, as employees, this is highly unethical and I don't think you should or can do it. But at my very first job, it was like a smaller company. They were kind of a startup. They were local. And the CEO, like the bosses, would tell us as employees to go to Google and leave like a good review of the company. Like, we were tasked to go do that. Crazy unethical. Don't do that. If your boss tells you to do it, you don't have to. But I did because I was 19 at the time.
And you wanted your job.
And I didn't know any better. So I did it. Well, we would tell that to all employees that would revolving door through that. Turnover rate was insane at that job. But we had this one review. The person had never worked for us. But what had happened is we had fired one employee she had an attitude. She was not very good. Like, she was late. She had a tendency, whatever. And she had posted a bad review. She was like, I got fired, yada, yada, yada. Immediately after she posted her bad review, we're guessing that one of her friends, like, to back her up, posted their own review. And the review was like, the boss told me they won't hire you if you're fat and stinky. Don't interview or work here.
Fat and stinky.
They were like, no stinkies allowed.
No stinkers.
I'm like, yeah, man. Take a f***ing shower.
Here's another good one I saw.
Yeah.
If you don't make the meals bigger, I'm about to spread your cheeks, little bro. That's a warning not to just that restaurant, but all restaurants.
All the restaurants. You're going to get your legs
Canes,
spread.
Make the chicken tenders bigger, or we're going to spread your cheeks.
Pardon me. Mamma mia.
Food was good until a group of cannibals behind us started burping loudly, snorting, and blowing their noses. Just gross, and it made it impossible to enjoy our food. We ate quickly and decided against dessert, sadly, just to get away from these animals.
How do you know they're cannibals?
Probably meant like carnivores.
But they said the word cannibals?
It says cannibals. They typed it.
Food was good until the group of cannibals. How do you know? Cannibals in my Applebee's? It's more likely than you think.
In my Applebee's?
How do they know? Did they witness it?
It was the burping loudly, and the snorting and blowing of their noses.
They're like, that burp away. Smelled a lot like human thigh.
Yeah,
like, I know what that smell tastes like.
I know what that smells like.
That's a call coming from inside the house. Hey, excuse me, Mr. Applebee's. These group of fellers behind me, they burped and it smelled like human flesh. How do you know what that smells like, sir? I will decline to answer.
I plead the fifth.
Yeah. You know, we had this whole goof and gaff last night. I don't know what the documentary's called. The Wrexham.
Welcome to Wrexham.
Welcome to Wrexham. So it's basically like it's the soccer team that Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney.
I don't know his last name, but he's changing it.
The guy from Who's Sunny.
Yeah.
It's Always Sunny, I mean. So they bought this team this soccer team that was in like a low division
so
team.
it's not only in one of the lowest divisions in England, it's also the third oldest football team ever.
Right, back from all the way to like the 40s or 50s or something. Longer
the
than
third oldest team.
Oh. Yeah, whenever that is. I don't know. I don't remember what it was.
It's either the third oldest team in Europe or like just the world, but either way.
But basically, so they're doing a whole documentary about how Ryan Reynolds and Rob McHellen, whatever, the Always Sunny guy.
Rob and Ryan
bought this team, and they're like, we want to make this the best team in the league. Like, we want to whatever. So it's like a documentary style. They're going through all of the games they played, whatever. They have this episode where they spotlight, I think he's like a forward or like a midfielder or something like that. And they pull him aside and they have their own section for him. And he's basically being like, "Oh, my dad left me mum."
No. He starts it off with saying, "Hello, I'm Ollie."
He's like, "Oh, hey, my name's Ollie. I'm from Wrexham. I'm from London. I play for Wrexham." But basically, he tells a story about like, "Oh yeah, my dad's. I used to love when he would come to games. He didn't go all the time, and then it got really hard when my dad left at 12." And you're like, "Oh shit, what happened?" And then they cut to the mom. He's like, "Oh, I always thought I would love Andy. I'd be married to Andy for the rest of my life.
I always saw our future.
It's all our future. That's all I saw was with Andy." And then it cuts to the dad. So when the player is talking, it's him and his dad. Like, his dad is sitting right next to him. And then they cut to a solo of the dad. He's like, "How are you supposed to tell your kids you're gay?" And I'm like, dog, that's crazy. What's even crazier is that, so Ollie brings his dad to meet Rob, the Always Sunny man, and he brings his dad's partner. And Ollie goes to Rob's like, "Hey, this is my dad and this is his partner." And Rob's like, "Oh, nice to meet you," whatever. They leave. And then Ollie goes to Rob like, "Hey, that wasn't his business partner, you know, right? Like, that was his like romantic partner." And Rob goes, "Oh, I know." Cuts to, "Hi, this is Rob's mom and his other mom." Like, he's got two moms. I was like, "Holy
Who raised him?" It's not
who raised him?
It's not like he wasn't like growing up without a father figure and
parents at all.
Yeah,
like, he had two moms or whatever. And he's like, "Oh, I knew immediately." Yada yada yada. Fuck all that. I was making the joke. It's like, imagine you're 12, you're a British kid, and you're like, "Oh, lads, just found out my dad's gay."
"Hello, my name's Ollie."
Yeah, he's like, he introduces himself to people. Go, "Oh, my name's Ollie. I play for Wrexham. My dad's gay."
"My dad's gay.
My dad told me at the age of 12 he likes a bit of dick.
A little
slice of dick.
He's got the wieners. He's like the wieners.
He likes a fair bit of cock."
A fair bit of cock.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I mean, it was
just funny. Like, it was so out of left field.
It's
like,
the American in us that just love making fun of accents and the way that they talk.
British people, especially British people, just the way they say things is so animated, and like, they don't even mean to do it. There are parts like in like during halftime or like.
Oh my god! There was the time where they interviewed two of the supporters of a different team about a match, and they are quite literally interviewing him while he's holding like his hot dog with a bite in it, and the other dude next to him looks pissed that he's getting interviewed. Like,
yes, dude.
It was so funny.
They're like the bit geezes, you know, they're like older dudes, and they're just on the side of the road in like London or something. It
quite literally looks like the production team walks up and they're like, "Hey, can we interview you?" And the guy just got done eating out of his hot dog, and he's like,
"I've just taken a bite of my hot dog. You can film me, but I'm gonna keep eating this fucking hot dog."
And the other guy's
holding like a sandwich.
Yeah, the other guy's holding a sandwich, just like, when the fuck is this gonna end?
Me Sammy's gonna get cold. Can we like wrap this up?
Yeah.
Are you gonna reimburse me for my cold Sammy now? Me cheese is coagulated. It's no longer melted in me Sammy.
My melted cheese is just cheese now.
It's no longer melted. It's just cheese.
It's just cheese.
Can we make this quick?
Cheese is re-cheese.
Wrexham, you know, like,
just to get their like 5-second fame, and it's so funny.
While he's holding a hot dog and like a cold cut sandwich.
Yeah. Can you hurry up? My cheese is re-cheesed.
It's real. Me cheese is re-cheesed.
It's so funny, dude. And then it's funny because this is your first time watching it.
Yeah.
I've been watching it for a while, but we're only on season 2. And there are times where they say, like, the British people will say a word, and it'll cut, and you saw this, it cuts to where it's explaining what the word means to us dumb Americans. And it's so funny, too.
Because also, as well as, like, you have 2 Americans who own the team.
Yeah, and it's not like they're explaining it. They do 3 different explanations. They do what the word is, they do what the British meaning of it is, and then they do what the Welsh way of saying the Welsh way of saying it is. And it's so funny.
It's just British people, man. And, like, I don't know if this...
and the coach was
that's what I was going to get to. So I don't know if this is particularly a British thing. I know that I love to swear. But, again, when it would be, like, halftime or, you know, it was, like, the beginning or end of the game, and they would cut to footage of the locker room, the coach would get in there and be like, oh, lads, you play a fucking great game. That was fucking excellent. Let's go out there and do it again. Like, he would say fuck, like, every other sentence, and I'm like, damn.
There was one time he didn't say fuck in a sentence, and I looked over to Sarah, and then by the time I looked over to Sarah to be like, he said it in the next, the first word in the next sentence. I was like, oh, never mind.
I love British people as well, because, like, they're in America, we've been fed the most attractive British people in terms of, like, American media. We get the very attractive British people. The general British population, specifically men, haunting
you also have to
people.
Think us Americans aren't no people is, like, good to look at, other than, I guess, if you're, like,
I don't think so either, but I was just saying, like, I'm not saying most Americans look good like we think most British people look good. I'm just saying so much forehead. The average British man has so much forehead. Like, it is unbelievable. And it was funny. One of the guys that kept interviewing, he was like a diehard Wrexham supporter. He had that shit cut. Like, he had a bowl cut. And I was like, I know he's got that, so he's hiding his big-ass forehead.
Yeah.
He had a crazy bowl cut straight across his forehead, right above his eyebrows. And I was like, that's hideous. And then he had, like, kind of a mullet thing going on. Again, the average British man. I wonder if that's
because, like, back in the day, all they wore were hats.
Yeah, so they didn't care. But now that, like, hats, I mean, are still in, but they're not as in as they used to be, that they're not wearing hats anymore. I guess, like, your bowler hats or whatever.
Yeah.
Like your gentleman bowler hat.
Top hats, too.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So, like, I wonder if that was, like, a thing. Oh, I wonder if that's why, like, judges in England wear wigs.
Do they all actually wear wigs?
They all
or is
wear
that
wigs.
Your stereotype?
No, they wear wigs.
When will you wear wigs?
When will you wear wigs? Have you worn a wig? No.
When will you wear wigs?
When will you wear wigs? Dude, that interview is so funny.
He just goes, huh? And he starts cackling. Hold on, I'm looking up British judges wearing wigs. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, dude, they all wear wigs. It's like a thing.
Wait. Yo, that's crazy. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Oh, they're, like, cheap, too. They look cheap as hell. Look at this.
That's just like a costume.
It is a
That's
costume.
Just a Halloween costume.
It is a costume. It was just silly.
But yeah, that's crazy, huh?
That's nuts. It's so unflattering.
It's weird.
Imagine having that, like, prestigious of an occupation. It's like, all right, now you got to wear this wig. It's a bit ugly.
There was
matted,
a part.
But you got to wear it.
There was a part in the documentary that you didn't see, and it was the king went and visited the stadium.
That's crazy.
And so Ryan and Rob did these etiquette classes of, like, how to speak, like, I guess,
awesome.
Formally to the king.
Yeah.
And
correctly.
And they did it because they're trying to build. I'm pretty sure they've either built it by now or they're still building it, but they're trying to build a new section of the stadium that has been basically abandoned. So they tore it down and they're going to start rebuilding this new area of the stadium. And to do so, they needed funding from the government to help them with the money. And so, like, the king came and he met him and everything. And then it cuts to Rob sitting down with one of their financial advisors for the for the club. And he's just like, so any updates on if they're going to help us with that? And he's like, oh, they said they're going to let us know next week. And he goes, okay, so they told us that last week. And then they told us that a few months ago. And then they told us that almost a year ago now. Do we know if that's ever going to change? And he goes, no, that's just the funny thing about our government system is sometimes they just keep pushing things. And Rob goes, right. So when are we going to find out? And the financial advisor goes, we'll find out next week. He goes, okay.
I'm like, the king's old, dude. He probably doesn't even remember any of that.
No, probably not. And it's funny because it shows
I don't remember meeting those American lads. I don't remember the stadium at all.
Ryan and Rob.
I miss me wife.
Yeah, so they're like, it shows him and he's meeting everyone and shaking everyone's hands and everything, and I'm just like, dude doesn't know where he's at right now.
No, how old is he? He's like 80s, right? He looks like he's falling apart.
He looks like a vampire.
He does. What's his name? King
Charles.
He's the third. Charles age.
Something I didn't know.
76.
Dude, he looks like he's 98.
He looks worse than 76.
Yeah, he looks way worse. He's a vampire for 100%.
Yeah, that's...
One thing that I didn't know, and this is kind of off topic, is that when a new pope gets, like, I guess, hired, they change their name.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. That's crazy. Do they pick the name, or is the name given to them?
I would assume so. I mean, because it's Pope Leo right now.
But he was known as something else before that.
He's from Chicago, so he's probably
Chicago.
It's
probably like John.
Or
George.
Hold on. Chose the papal name Leo.
Papal.
He's Robert Francis.
Robert Francis.
Robert is also
Robert's a pretty,
but it's also the most generic name on the planet.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, I didn't know that. I thought that was interesting. Imagine if they did that. Imagine if they did that with kings. Kings got to choose their name.
Well, that's different because that's a monarchy and that's more of like a birthright thing. Popehood
I guess so.
or like the papal isn't a birthright thing. So changing your name, because it could be as well. I don't know. I'm not Catholic. I don't know how it works, but I'm like thinking maybe it's like a shedding of the old life for your new life as the Pope.
Yeah.
So you take on a new name.
He's cool. He seems cool.
He's from Chicago. Yeah. I'm sure, I don't know. I have no clue. I don't trust the Catholic Church, even if he is from Chicago, especially if he's from Chicago.
Justin got to see him. Really? Yeah, Justin went to Italy recently. And he posted on his story, he's like, just saw the Pope.
Just saw the fucking Pope.
I was like, he's such a mysterious man, Justin, that is.
Yeah.
That I was like, what? What do you mean you
A,
saw?
You were in Italy, and B, you
saw the Pope? Like, that's crazy. What the fuck?
That's so weird. It's like, you could go to Italy, and the chances of you meeting the Pope are low. So the fact that he met him and all.
Yeah. Like, that's insane.
Huh.
Also, another fun fact is, Braden texted me today, and he goes, hey, meet me at this shore in Oregon Friday. I looked at the shore, 12 hours away, and I said, all I texted him said, impossible. And he said, what? And I was like, you're asking for me to do the impossible for you.
That's up too, because I'm sure it's longer for you than it is for him, because your halfway takes a lot longer because we're in California.
Yeah.
He's in Washington. That state is significantly smaller.
Yeah.
So meeting halfway, it takes way longer for you than it does for him.
So then he's just telling me, he's like, wow, so you don't love me? And I told him, I said,
if we lived more north, sure.
I told him, I was like, I do love you, but you're asking me to do impossible stuff that I physically cannot do right now. And he was just like, whatever. I just thought I'd bring that up because I thought that was funny. I thought that was a little.
Suck on a chode, Braden. See if we give a.
I think it's funny that every time me and him are like on Discord or FaceTime, and I'm like, you want to say hi to him? And you just like flip him off, and he's like, what the heck?
I have to. I forget he's younger than me sometimes, but then again, no, I don't because he's a child.
Yeah, he's a child.
He's a fucking child.
He's just a little man-child running around. You know, what's funny is he's gonna text me when this episode
He's
goes
like,
up.
what the fuck?
He's like, dude, you always talk shit to me. You never like gas me up.
Yeah, there are some times where he's like, I got brought up in the podcast, like, no way, and then it's just
us dogging
on him. You eat it up, Brayden. You eat it up.
You know, but I
Fork and
will
knife,
say,
you love
Justin
it.
is a beautiful man.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted to leave it at that.
You love your boyfriends.
I love my
and
friends.
it's so cute. When we went to Washington for Brayden's wedding, I was like, damn, I'm getting cucked.
Me, Justin, Peyton, Brayden, PJ at that time.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm just getting cucked. Like, go get a room, dude. I don't give a fuck if you need to kiss your boyfriends. Just do it over there.
It was great. I loved it.
We always joke that Tatsu, our cat, is homophobic, but he's like a homophobic ally.
Yeah,
and we're
he's
like, you can kiss your boyfriend, just make sure I can't see you.
Just make sure you're in the corner thinking about what you're doing.
He's like, I don't care if you kiss your boyfriend. I just don't want to see it.
I think it's when we came back from the Pride Parade and he was up on your desk. He was chewing on the Pride flag.
Yes, I brought home a Pride flag. Actually, I want to get into Pride real quick. That was the first Pride I've ever been to. Ever. And the weather wasn't that bad. I was surprised.
No, it wasn't.
was not that bad. But, like, as we were walking through, like, we parked far away and we walked all the way to the parade. And people were just handing me shit.
By the time we got there, I think you had like 3 things.
Yeah, I was like, I walked in, someone was like, hey, do you want this little thing with like the tassels or whatever? And I was like, fuck yeah. So I took that, and then we're standing and I'm watching the parade. Someone drives by, goes, you want a flag? And I said, hell yeah, and I took it. People just kept handing me shit. Somebody handed me goldfish at one point, and I was like, dude, this rules. So yeah, it was like a little miniature pride flag.
And
I brought it home, and Tatsu was chewing on it. And I was like,
we looked at each other,
bitch.
and we're just like, he's just such a big homophobe.
He's
like,
a homophobe.
It's funny, too, because we know this because whenever, like, him and Toby decide to cuddle, the second we look over, he, like, jumps up.
To get up.
He's like, I'm done. I'm not doing that.
He's like, no homo. No homo.
He's like, what the fuck? I wasn't doing that. What are you talking about? We're like, buddy, we just saw you cuddling with him, having the time of your life.
He's like, you guys can't know I fuck with my boy like that.
We're like,
you can't know.
Okay. What the hell is your problem?
You can make out with your boyfriend. I just
make
can't
out with
see
your boyfriend.
I just can't see it. If you're gonna make out with your boyfriend, make sure there's a Bible nearby, at least.
So I was taking pictures of Cameron today, our tattoo artist, and our boy, and I'm sitting there and he's talking. He's like, "Oh, I didn't even mean to wear this shirt. It's like a Metallica shirt." And I was like, "Well, you're wearing it." And then, like halfway through taking pictures, he goes, "Oh, I didn't even mean to get a haircut." Like he had gotten up to go to the bathroom. And I was like, wow, Cameron, just everything fell in place for today.
What a life you live.
What a life you, just so whimsical and just wandering through life you are. It was just so funny. He's like, oh, and then like when he brought up the haircut, he was like, oh yeah, I found out my hair's receding?
He's got a receding hairline.
And then because I had said, I was like, well, it's a good thing you don't have any bald spots. And when I said that, one of his tattoo artists at the shop goes, I do, and I look over, motherfucker's bald. just all bald.
Mr.
And I was
Clean
just like,
beaming.
well, you don't have that. Your whole head's a bald spot. It's kind of hard for you to say that.
I think that was the bit.
It was a bit.
That's crazy.
No, it's funny.
Yeah, just go bald. Fuck it.
I told him that. I was like, just go bald. And he's like, no one in my family's bald. It's not going to hit me. And I was like,
there's nothing more embarrassing. Okay, I will say it's more embarrassing to have a receding hairline than to be fucking bald.
Yeah.
Just be bald.
Just be bald. Just be bald.
If you're a dude, go bald. If you're a woman, get extensions. It's just,
if you're a woman,
it's different.
Go bald. If you're a man, get extensions.
Or get a toupee. Shave it off and get a toupee.
Dude,
get Bosley. I think Bosley's still a thing.
I think toupees are so funny.
Toupees as a concept, yes, very funny. Put your goddamn feet down.
I'm sorry. Do you have any 4th of July stories that you think about?
4th of July stories? No. I mean, no, other than this is the least patriotic I've ever been in my life. I did this is weird and not at all interesting, but it's just funny that I brought my old friend from high school to two 4th of Julys, and it's funny to think about. I was like, damn, I had to babysit you to my family. She was like, I don't know. It's so crazy looking back on like me and her being friends. I was so much funnier than her.
She saw the
and
bright
she
lights.
she had me thinking that I wasn't it. I was so funny.
Is this the friend you're not friends with anymore?
No, watching her be funny was like watching paint dry. She was a wet blanket, and she was like, I still hold a little bit of resentment if you can't tell.
Really?
It's crazy. She was like, dude, there would be points. I have always been skinny. I have always been skinny. Even when I gained 30 pounds, I was still skinny, and I still am. In high school,
I wish that was the same for me.
Shut up, I'm talking. I was 90. Excuse me, the women are talking. I was 90 pounds soaking wet in like middle school, high school.
I think it was like 130 soaking wet.
But you're a dude. It's different. And you probably had more muscle than I did.
I was very
I was
skinny.
just nothing. I was just skin and bone. And she one time looked at me, she goes, I would really want your stomach, but I really don't want your fat legs. Isn't that fucking insane? She was like, yeah, I really wish I had your fat stomach, but not your like legs. They're like kind of chubby.
If
and
one
I
of
was
my-
like, yo!
If one of my friends were ever to say something like that to me, I'd be like, fuck you.
But see, like, I was a doormat at the time, and I had never told her no before, so I was like, thank you, I guess. Like,
Oh.
isn't that so crazy? And I was friends with her for
Dude.
another 4 years, and then I made new friends, and I was like, oh, right,
You're like,
suck.
God, these friends rock, and you are
And you
trash.
don't. And these new friends are so funny, and you're so boring. Anyway,
That's why.
I am a feminist, I'm a girl's girl. Fuck her, dude.
That's why I
Fuck her.
have
She
like
was mean.
different friends groups,
Yeah.
because like there'd be each one of my friends groups represents a different time in my life.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
And I just think it's so funny. And a few years ago, whenever I had my birthday at my place, all of my friends group collided.
Yeah, that's a little funky.
And it was weird. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they all got along because I had very much told everyone that I was like, if you start being annoying or getting in my face on my birthday, I'm kicking you out. And they all know that I'm a no fucks guy. Like, if you are going to do that, I'm going to kick you out regardless of how
Yeah.
much bigger you are than I am. I
Yeah.
have many more people here.
Quentin's the fucking bouncer.
Exactly. So it was just funny because, like, I mean, everyone was having a great time. It was fun, but it was just so funny for me to see all of these friends from different periods of my life almost
In one room.
in one room.
Yeah.
So I was just like, interesting.
Yup.
And they all got along.
Of course they did. Because the assumption is that all of your friends are your friends because they're cool people.
Yeah.
So you would assume
They were
cool
all
people-
they were all either a
mesh.
little high or a little drunk,
Yeah.
and they all at some point wanted to kiss each other, and it's just a great time.
Yeah.
It was a fun time.
Yeah, I hate bringing stuff like this up, but it is unfortunately true. When it comes to like women and men being friends like that, it's much more awkward for women when you have them mesh like that because dudes can automatically become friends like instantly. And I'm not saying girls can't do that. It's just weird when the expectation is I know one person here and now I'm having to mingle with this other person's friends who also want their attention.
Yeah.
So it's a little weird.
That's why I think it's funny whenever like
It has happened to me before, but it was a little weird.
we're like Matt and Shelby are like, oh, we want Micah to meet our friends, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
because
They're
they've all
different.
known each other for so long,
yeah.
and I feel like my sense of humor isn't as intelligent as your guys's.
He has a degree in anthropology. He's currently grading in criminology. He's gonna do great things with his life. He's f***ing stupid. That boy dumb as hell. Especially when it comes to his humor. Like, it's very gay and it's very dumb. But in terms of like me calling my friends morons, he knows. No, I think if you walk into a room,
I like
with
how you
all
were
our
just
friends,
like me calling my friends morons. We were literally just talking shit on Braden like a few minutes
that's
ago.
fine, but like it's mutual.
That's okay.
It's mutual. He would say the same thing about me. We big beefing. I'm big beefing
Big-
with like your best friend of all time. Anyway,
That's so funny to me.
no, I think you guys would mesh well. It's just
It would take me time to get warmed up to them because I'm awkward.
I would say your humor is louder. That's the only thing.
My humor's louder?
Mm-hmm.
Explain.
You are louder. They are a rowdy bunch. You are louder. That's the only thing. Like as a collective, they are. I don't know though. You'd be fine. I think you're overthinking it.
Cool.
I think you're overthinking it.
I think I overthink a lot of things, but
This is true. This is true.
I will say during that birthday party of all my friends colliding, I got ridiculously high,
Yeah, you did.
and I saw in between the lines of code on Smash Bros. Because that was like the thing like leading up to Smash Bros. Was because I had never beaten two of my friends that were invited, Owen and Ellis, and I had just found out that they played Smash Bros. And I was like, oh my god. And before that, like me, Tyler, Bryce, and Quentin, that's all we played for a very long period of time. And so there was a point in the time in the night where I was a few blunts in.
A few.
And I decided, hey, y'all, I'm going to play Smash Bros. And there's a few people that hopped on that. And I went on, like, the best winning streak I've ever done. I shit you not, like I said, was seeing through the lines of the game code itself. It felt like it was
you were
crazy.
Looking at the binary, the ones
and by the
zeros.
time I lost, it was to someone who had already beaten in the night, and I was just like, all right, put my controller down, and I just went on with my night. It was crazy. It was nuts.
I used to think you were crazy, but now I see you're nuts. And then you lift up your pants, and I see your balls. Cut. Cut.
Cut.
Line. Sorry.
Nar.
No, you gotta cut that, mate. You can't put that in. Oh, Lord.
Dear lordy.
My bad.
That's okay.
You know what I was thinking about right before we were recording this?
Please do tell.
I was thinking about Freud. And, like, isn't it crazy up that he called it the Oedipus complex? And they were like, oh, it's called the Oedipus complex because men secretly want to fuck their mom. Even though Oedipus literally gouged his own eyes out when he found out he fucked his mom.
That's crazy. That's a crazy history thing to drop right now. That I wasn't thinking at all. That's nuts. You know, to go onto the top of gouging eyes out, Mia had a mouse that quite literally tore its eyes out because it was depressed. Yeah.
Damn!
Yeah, Mia just woke up one day and it was dead because it had ripped its eyes out. It had clawed its eyes out.
I hope you guys are enjoying the episode so far.
Like, and Mia was like devastated, and we were just like, "Holy shit, Mia!"
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's nuts. Mia's had way more pets than I have.
Yeah, because she had like a lot of rodents.
She had
right?
like guinea pigs.
Yeah.
She had cats, and like not all of them ended very well.
No, there was like a running bit kind of online. It's not really a bit because people will say shit and it's like, damn, I believe that. Where people who have like hamsters specifically, they will always die in the most horrific, gory fashion ever, and it's just a hamster.
It's just a little guy.
It's just a little guy. Someone on like Reddit will be like, yeah, my hamster died because he was sucked up into the vacuum. Like,
yeah, that's crazy.
Hold on, I kind of want to look some up because that's really quite silly.
That's a funny one.
I don't know though, like with an animal that small, like even when like Tatsu or even like Moo, when Penko was a kitten, I was like, oh my god, you're so small.
Yeah, like something
worried.
could fall on you and you would be dead.
Cause you're so small, and then getting like even a mouse, you're so itty bitty.
Or they're not getting any bigger than that. What do you see?
Not me. So this is an Ask Reddit. How did your hamster die? Because apparently these things die from the weirdest stuff. First comment, 4 years ago. Not me, but my daughter. She came home excited one day and threw her bedroom door open abruptly. She looked over and saw her little dude twitch and die. Scared it to death.
Oh my god, man had a heart attack.
Oh no.
Oh, you don't want to read that one?
I mean, I will. I just got back from the store with my brand new hamster when I was 11 or 12. Named him Rocket. I had him out of his cage and he was running around happy as can be. He ran over to the dog I had at the time who was lying on the floor. My dog wasn't too concerned with him. He but gave him a lick right across the back. Just a gentle lick. The hamster fell right over and had a heart attack. Had the son of a bitch for 30 minutes.
Oh my god. Dude, that's crazy. These motherfuckers are having heart attacks left and right.
Oh. Had two. The dad lost it and ate all of the babies and mom during labor. He later escaped and was never seen again. And then you made an edit. My dad did not eat the hamsters. Hamster dad did. So
see, that's the thing with gerbils.
Gerbils do the same thing?
Like, no, I mean, just like rodents like that.
Mm-hmm.
They have like a really bad incest / like eating each other thing.
Really?
Yeah. It's great. It's really cool. Because they can multiply like crazy.
Not a hamster, but a gerbil. We, my sister and I, were playing with them, and one decided this was its chance to make a run for freedom. Unfortunately, his run for freedom took him directly up my dad's pant leg. Obviously, this was somewhat disturbing to my father. Luckily, my father, with my mother's help, successfully removed said gerbil from my father's pants, but not before the gerbil panicked and took a bite out of my father's inner thigh.
Oh.
Edit. Said gerbil died about 3 months later because it somehow snuck out of the gerbil enclosure and may have been accidentally stepped on.
Damn. Dad got his revenge.
I crushed it under the leg of the couch by accident.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Just saying, dude, like these little guys are crazy.
Oh,
they're
God.
not meant to be around us. I feel like that's what it is. They're not meant to be around us.
Dude, we had one that escaped and hadn't been seen for days. Then he bolted from under a couch right in front of the vacuum. The top comment under that says, "Schloop."
Schloop.
Oh my god. See, that's what I'm saying. Something about hamsters, they have to die horrific deaths.
Do you think they're happier inside enclosures with a bunch of them? Oh, what is it?
Not mine, but my dad told me the story of my aunt's hamster. Apparently, it was cold enough, so my aunt's hamster started hibernating. My dad and an uncle were all children when my aunt went away for swimming practice. My dad and uncle saw the hamster dying, laying still stiff and cold, so they thought it was dead and had no better idea than to throw it on out a third floor window. The poor thing woke up in the air and ran away once it landed. Didn't make it far though, as a truck ran it over before it got to the other side.
Jesus Christ. That's such like kid behavior too. Let's just throw it outside the window.
I don't know what to do with it. We're just gonna throw it
Let's
out
see
the
what
window.
happens. Crazy.
I've never had rodents because my mom hates them. So we've always had just cats or dogs. So I don't know what it's like. Also, I don't think I would want something that small. Like, I love animals that I can hold, like, safely. You know? Like, in a cat and a dog, you can do that. And I want to pet it. I can't pet.
We had guinea pigs way back during our like big house, and I'll let Mia tell the story about those because those were like horrific. Mm-hmm. But then we had a guinea pig later when they moved up here, and he lived a long time. He lived his full life. The only thing was like he died when it got really cold, so they would put like a blanket over his cage to like try to keep him warmer. And he just died because he was old age, so he just crawled up and passed away.
He's like, boy.
Yeah, he's like,
and died.
And I mean,
that's the nicer.
The coldness of it probably didn't help.
But it definitely wasn't like getting thrown out a window.
No, and it was sad too because I remember it happening. Like I think I was living at their house when it happened, and I just remember like because every time you'd open the refrigerator door, he'd squeak because he'd know he'd get like some food from it. And there was one morning they were opening up the refrigerator door and there was like no squeaking.
Oh.
And so Robert like found out that he passed when told Mia. Mia was like broken.
Aww.
But yeah, we were all like, well, Mia, he lived like a happy life. He was a very happy guinea pig.
For a guinea pig, like I'm sure anything longer than a year is a long life.
Oh, he lived like 5.
Yeah.
He lived like 5 years.
That's not bad. That's not bad. And to die that way,
yeah,
could be worse.
That was like the best.
Could be fucking worse.
That was like one of the best endings for a rodent that we've had in the family.
Yeah.
And I don't think we'll ever get one again.
Yeah, again, like I don't It's
good.
fine. Like, it's cool. Like, if I go over to someone's house and, like, here's my guinea pig, I'm like, oh, hell yeah.
Oh, sick.
I want to see it. I want to hold it, yada, yada, yada. I don't want one.
No, I don't want one either.
I think chinchillas are so rad, and I know people have them as pets.
They're so, like, the upkeep on them are
good.
crazy, too.
And it's like, even with, like, rabbits are so high maintenance as well.
Mark's sister has a rabbit, and, like, when he brings it out, I'm like, oh, my God, I want to pet that shit.
I want to pet the little guy, but I'm like, I don't want a rabbit. I don't want a fucking rabbit.
He sits there and he's like looking at us like, oh my God.
Yeah, rabbits are so cute. I don't want one.
Plus, he's like, you have to be very specific about a lot of things with rabbits, because he was just like, yeah, you have to give them this much water or else they'll quite literally drown themselves. Or he's like, or you can't do this because then it's going to overheat himself and he's going to overwork his heart and kill himself. And it's like, there's so many things that you have to watch out for.
It's a miracle that they still exist.
Yeah,
like,
seriously.
Out in the wild with conditions like this. And I'm sure they're like different, like bred rabbits to be pets rather than
less
like
domesticated
out, in the forest or whatever. But yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah,
my
I'm
cats and my dogs, those are
my
fine.
cats and my dogs.
Those are like peak, like, pet era or area there.
Other than like a dinosaur, then yeah.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is I can't imagine, like I can imagine like a wild cat or a wild dog or whatever, like a dingo, whatever, a hamster or like a guinea pig, just like out in the wild.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, I know they're animals and I know they exist in whatever, but I'm like, I don't think I'm ever gonna go outside in the wilderness and be like, there's a fucking guinea pig. Where do they come from?
It's like squirrels. It's like people have squirrels as pets.
But squirrels make sense. Squirrels you see all the goddamn time. I have never once seen a wild guinea pig.
That is true.
Or a hamster. I've seen a chipmunk.
I think they're more from. If I'm wrong, I think guinea pigs are from Asia.
I'm gonna look up wild guinea pigs. Wild guinea.
And they were just domesticated here in the States.
Oh.
Are they Asia?
Oh, dude, they're so cute. South America.
Let me see.
These are so this is the first picture I saw, and I was like, that just kind of looks like.
Yeah, it's just like.
But then you look at it, I'm like, no, that's a guinea pig.
Yeah, those are cute.
Look at the little guys. So they're definitely.
Oh,
see,
look
that's
at them. So,
yeah. That's crazy.
Are they South American?
Yes. So basically,
I was incorrect.
Domestic guinea pigs are not found in the wild, but they're descended from a wild species. Okay, so that's what I thought. So the guinea pigs we think of that you put in cages and you give them a little ball or
domesticated ones.
Are bred to be pets and they're domesticated or whatever.
Yeah.
But there are wild guinea pigs. They just look wildly different. So.
And they probably are a little bit differently internal as well.
Yeah, they probably have less,
stress or whatever.
Upkeep with that as like an animal because it's in the wild. So from the pictures that I saw, the wild guinea pig has like a coarse, like brown, blackish fur, and then obviously the domestic ones we know are incredibly soft and they're like brown and they're like white or whatever. Those are bred. Those don't exist in the wild. They've been domesticated, bred to be pets, essentially. Dude, I'm assuming there's something similar with a hamster.
Yeah.
I'm not going to look that up. But, there you go. Now you know.
Now we know. Now the listeners know as well.
The what? Yeah, I know.
The listeners.
Oh,
sure.
We went to Jordan's, my sister-in-law's, for her birthday. This 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And we were playing a game called Catchphrase, where it's like it's a little thing.
That game.
It's just because you're bad at it. So
it's because you guys would get.
We would get easy.
What's son?
Okay.
And then we would get going to the park or
you still won.
Throwing a kite at the park.
You still won. I don't want to hear it. So we basically the game
came back.
Is that it's this
we won.
It's this little like handheld game, and it'll give you a word, and you have to describe it as quick as you can. It's on a timer. You pass it or whatever. I got the word motorboat.
Dude, I was so disappointed in your
I got
family.
the word. So here's with the teams that we had.
Comment down below what you think motorboat is right now. Go.
They know what it means. So basically, the team members that I had, including my mother, by the way, I was like, okay, the quickest way to get to motorboat is not an actual boat.
So I said,
I think me and Clayton even looked at each other.
yeah,
And
because you guys are dudes and you know. But I was just like, okay, the quickest way to get to motorboat is I was like, all right, here's what I said. It's the term for when you stick your head in between boobs and go, that's what I said. And then my team looked baffled. Like, they had
boobies?
never heard that in their life. I was like, oh my God, you guys don't know what a motorboat is? Like, you guys don't know what that is? And they were looking at me. I was like, oh, okay. So the thing you put in the water, and I like had to describe it. I was in awe. I was like, what do you mean you've never heard of a motorboat?
Yeah, they were just like, wait, you put your head in between
shocked.
boobies?
I was like, you guys don't think about putting your head between boobies and going,
I don't know, dude. I was really disappointed. The second you said that, I knew what it was.
Yeah, Clayton looked over. He was fucking laughing, and I was like, dog. What do you mean you guys don't know what a motorboat is?
Your mom was like, I thought I knew what it was, but I didn't.
My mom, my mother, I was like, I'm shocked at you, Mom.
Dude,
why didn't you know? She was like, it's been a while.
This
like,
episode, we're putting so many people on blast.
I don't give a.
Hey, we love all y'all. I just want to say that we love all y'all.
And then that bitch I was friends with in high school, you can
yeah,
suck
she
it.
could go suck a
you
dick.
You can suck it. You were really mean to me.
She could go suck a fat cock.
You know, a fat cock. A dick. A slice of dick. Did I tell you why we stopped being friends?
No.
In 2020, so I graduated high school, quote unquote, because it was COVID. So, but that was also when the George Floyd protest broke out, because that's when all of that happened or whatever. She had posted on Snapchat, she was like, guys, I can't get my tattoo because there's protesters outside of the building. And we were like,
oh my God.
Dog, you have got to be joking. So my friend Julia called her out, and she's like, that was incredibly tone deaf, and I cannot fuck with you anymore. She screenshots that. She sends that to me, and she goes, it was a joke. And this was the first time I had ever told her no. Like, I didn't defend her for when she said things. I was like, it didn't seem like a joke. Like, it seemed like you meant it. And she went in this whole fucking thing of like, well, clearly you don't want to be friends with me because you're not defending me, like that kind of thing. And I was like, dog.
You're like, you're right. I don't want to be friends with you.
You're like, I was like, right, because I would never say that. Julia and Shelby would never say that. So you're right. And like, that was the first time, again, that I told her no.
And it was the last time, too.
And it was the last time. The first and last time I told her no.
If you can't tell your friends no and they can't take that shit and run with that shit, then
But that's the thing.
I was
friends with her for like over 5, maybe 6 years. And I'd always defended her because I was like, oh, I need friends. Like, she's the only person to be friends with me. Fuck that. Fuck that. Looking back on it, I'd rather be sitting by myself, not talking to fucking anybody.
You know, there's many fish in the sea.
Thanks, Micah. I really appreciate that.
And friends come and go.
Yeah, and I found 2 gay ones.
As if you're going through doors of your life.
Uh-huh. Yeah, why don't you give me wisdom?
And sometimes
you can't even read.
They're not meant to be.
You can't even read.
That's really rude of you.
The face you just made.
And
quivering lip like
it's very rude of you.
Very mean. Come on, Tobos.
He didn't say anything.
Oh, you didn't want
But I think that's time. This was a pretty, for us, I feel like a more chill episode.
Sorry, I said some really weird things.
We were a little bit more chill this episode.
My bad.
We showed love to all of our friends and family this episode.
Yeah. A lot of love going around.
So, if you don't mind, guys, living a lovely a lovely comment.
I may be nice on the outside, but I'm harboring so much resentment for people.
Lovely subscribe. And just comment down below on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 hopefully being that you loved this episode because it was very lovely. Why are you laughing?
I have so much unbridled rage and just anger. But I keep it in for you bitches, for your sake.
So, that's going to be the end of the episode, guys.
Braden's scared of me because he knows that. Be scared. You're lucky I have to take medication for anxiety. Otherwise, it's over. Over for y'all.
In other words, she really appreciates all of you guys and loves every single individual that listens to the podcast.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Is
Bye. Hit that button.